Hey, this is Ari, and you're listening to Chronically Iconic,
where we talk about chronic illness and literally everything else.
Today we are talking about the barometric pressure and the pressures of everyday life. Hey.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, we did. The title and everything, no brainer.
So what's your number today?
My number today is an 8. I'm actually feeling sick.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I feel like I'm so used to it that, like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's a lie. But, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
like,
what
you
you
just
mean.
get so used to being in pain that it's, like, when you stop and think about it, you're like, I am in a hell of a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But, like, if you just keep going and get distracted, and sometimes I forget about it completely.
Yeah. You just learn how to live through it. And I think that's a good thing because you learn how to live your everyday life, but it's also...
You have to. You kind of have to learn to not think about it. You have to train your mind.
Your brain.
Yeah, train your brain.
Yeah.
Work it out. Yeah, train your brain to not think about it.
Yeah. Which is good for us, I think, because you get to...
That's the only way we can live our lives.
Yeah.
If I really sit and think about it, like, if I was telling someone who just got diagnosed with chronic illness, like, this is the first thing you have to learn, or else you're not going to have a life at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was depressing. That was so depressing. It's your turn. What's your number?
This morning it was like a 4, but now it's like a 7.
Oh, that's a big jump.
Well, it's because I ran errands.
Okay.
And it's hot outside. But I had a migraine yesterday and it's gone, so praise God.
Oh, it is gone? I'm so glad.
Yeah. I think it was the rain coming in.
Yeah, huge storm.
I felt it.
Which we're going to talk about, the weather
today.
And our illness, because believe it or not, the weather directly affects us.
I can't stop singing under pressure.
It just needs to be background music, I guess. But, so before we, like, casually talk about it, I have a little bit of research to kind of explain and use science words to explain what we're talking about. So I'm going to read this little blip real quick. A drop in the barometric pressure, which is the pressure against the Earth's atmosphere, means the pressure against your body drops as well. This causes the joints and any injuries to begin to swell. This swelling causes increased inflammation, and we as humans require hormones to deal with this. There is a small gland in our bodies that produces both adrenaline and cortisone. These two hormones help deal with energy, mood, pain management, and the fight or flight response. As the barometer falls, it causes a dilation of cortisone in the body. When cortisone levels drop, energy, mood, and pain management become a huge problem. The barometric pressure can have a profound effect on pain, mood, and energy levels. In short, bad weather makes my pain worse. The cold and extreme heat also affect my pain in the same way. Spring, summer, fall, and winter, it just all sucks. So that's a kind of a science background, not really. But, would you like to elaborate on how the weather affects you personally?
Whoa. Personally, the heat is my trigger. So really, really hot. The winter is like when I thrive.
That's so interesting.
I
because
love it.
I struggle both in extreme cold and heat. So spring and summer, or not spring and summer, spring and fall are best for me. But spring and fall in the south is tornadoes. Yeah. And so it all sucks equally for me.
Winter is when I thrive. It's when I feel the best. Like, I know there's allergies season, but I'd rather have allergies and thrive than be hot. I do feel okay in the heat, but it's like extreme heat, so the south. But if I can find air conditioning or swim in pool, you know? I try to, like, take it in moderation, but the winter is my favorite because snow, air conditioning, and I get to wear sweaters and not be judged by it.
Socially acceptable sweaters.
Yeah, because I wear sweaters in the summer.
Yeah.
Because I'm cold.
Would you ever think about moving to the north because of it? Like, is that something you want to do?
Absolutely, I would. Not right now, because I'm a college student who is poor.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely move to the north or California, but it's expensive.
I
think
don't think I could. I'm too poor for California.
Oh yeah, me too. But I think like maybe Colorado or
interesting.
What's that one state?
I don't know. a lot of people with fibromyalgia actually move to Arizona.
Ooh, that's too hot.
I know, it doesn't really make sense, but upon a little bit of research, Arizona is a dry heat.
Yeah.
And so for some people, that makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. Here in Arkansas, you walk outside and you're automatically wet.
Sweating. Yeah.
So gross. So, like, you just can't wear makeup in the summer here.
No.
But yeah, a lot of people with fibro end up moving to Arizona,
That's
which is
interesting.
I think I would want to go to the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I feel like it's financially better than California.
Oh yeah.
And depending on where you live, you can an hour to the mountains, an hour to the beach. Please.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like not financially. I'm thinking health wise. I think
which is how we should be thinking. But like I'm a realist. I'm like can't help but like calculate.
I don't know. Where would you want to live? What is best for you? Spring?
70s?
Oh, yeah.
In the 60s and 70s?
I love it. But I also would love to be freezing cold.
I'd rather be cold than hot. Because you can
too.
always warm up and turn on the heat.
Yeah.
You can only take off so many clothes before you're judged by it.
Yeah, I would rather be freezing than hot. But if I can be hot and find a swimming pool,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what are your like direct symptoms if a storm is coming?
Like thunderstorm?
Yes.
Okay.
If there's a thunderstorm, how does your pain change from regular pain to a storm is coming?
Regular pain, I normally just have like 5 out of 10 nerve pain. That's like where it's normally at. Nerve pain. So it's like stabbing, shooting.
Is it all over?
Yeah, normally. Okay. But when a storm is coming, every time I say that, this is like a tangent, but when Reagan, that's my little sister.
Shout out to Reagan.
I love you, Reagan. She's 15 now, but when she was born, she was like 2 years old. I'm 6 years older than her. But when she was young, she would be like, a storm is coming. It was like right when she learned how to speak. So I guess she wasn't 2 years old. But when she learned how to talk, she would say, a storm is coming, and then an hour later it would start raining.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and she would do it. She did it for like a couple years, and then she just stopped. And then every time she said it, a storm would come. It was really weird. So that's a tangent, but every time I say that, I think
Reagan
about her.
has magical powers that she should use to help the chronic illness community. That's what I'm hearing.
Reagan is gonna save the planet. Anyways, sorry. When a storm is coming,
yes,
Reagan, I normally get a migraine, and I know that a storm is coming. Sometimes I'll get pain in my right knee. Don't know why.
Is it always your right knee?
It's always my right knee.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then I'll get like a little bit worse of nerve pain, and I'm like, okay, it's about to rain, or we're gonna get some bad storms, or like we're getting a front. Like it's really, excuse me, it's about to get really cold, or it's about to get really hot.
Yeah.
But I always know when I get a migraine, like we're getting a weather change. So I always feel like Mother Nature. I'm like, yeah, I know it's hard to rain because I'm getting a migraine.
Over here predicting weather patterns.
It's me and Reagan. Reagan and Haley against the world.
That's so funny.
How does yours change?
So I get a lot of joint pain specifically when it's about to storm, and then I get really irritable. I mean, I'm kind of grouchy anyway, but like I get very snappy.
Yeah.
And it's a direct correlation to my joints are hurting worse.
Yeah.
I think I got a migraine yesterday. A little bit, but I caught it in time and I was able to take a medication for it. But
I love that.
So before a thunderstorm, migraines, and then joint pain, and I thought of this when you were talking about was it your right knee?
Yeah, it's always my right knee.
It's my left knee.
We are each other's puzzle piece. I freaking love that.
I was like, when you were talking, I was like, don't say it yet. Wait till it's your turn.
That's so funny.
How weird is that?
That's so funny.
Together, we make a whole person.
That's so funny. We are a puzzle piece. That's cheesy.
We have so many broken pieces. If you put us together, we're like one functioning person.
That's so funny.
How weird is that? Yeah, okay. So, like old people, remember, like your grandmother or someone will tell you, like, oh, my hip's acting up.
No, my goodness.
No, really?
I mean, probably, but
like,
I don't remember.
You know how older people
yeah.
will be like, oh, there's a storm coming, my
Yeah.
hip's acting up, or my knee's acting
Yeah.
up.
That's me with my
when we say it's gonna rain, you should just believe us.
Well, I think we're also from the South, and every time I walk outside and it's about to rain, you can, like, smell it, and I'm it's
That's
rain.
true.
Yeah.
Is that not normal?
No. I don't
thought
think
that was
so.
normal.
I really don't think so, because people from the North are like, how do you smell rain? And I'm like, you can just smell it.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I don't think that's normal.
You can tell
I
I've
think
lived
we've
here
just
my whole
lived
life.
in Arkansas way too long.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, that was our blip about the barometric pressure and how it affects us. But let's transit? That's not the word. Transition, yes. See how smoothly this transitioned into talking about a different topic? Let's talk about, like, pressure and life.
Yeah.
Life pressures.
Yeah.
With chronic illness.
Okay.
People have no idea.
So, like, I'm about to hiccup. I feel
Let it go. Let it go.
I feel it. I'm afraid it's gonna be loud. Oh, what was that?
Okay.
That was awkward. So, like, pressures that cause flares, or just
like, let's talk
pressures
about
in general?
everyday pressure. Like, what do
Okay.
you feel pressure about your daily life? Like, for instance, I constantly feel pressure to always be doing something.
Same.
Because of the stigma of people who have a disability or a chronic illness, there's a stigma that those people are lazy. And that is a complete lie. And chronic illness and people with disabilities are the hardest working people you will ever meet, simply because you're living your life, they're living the same life in pain all the time.
Yeah.
So we are the most hardworking people ever.
Yeah.
And that is my tangent.
Yeah.
But so I feel pressure every day to always be doing something.
Yeah.
And that's it's this, like, hustle culture that is, like, really dangerous.
It's this social media culture that you have to look perfect on, and then you have to be getting stuff done.
Yeah, you
It's
constantly
really
have to,
irritating.
like, I don't know, keep up and, like, constantly be posting to social media, or constantly be, like, working all the time. Again, hustle culture, it's very dangerous because of burnout and just mental health in general. But that's what I struggle with as far as the daily pressure being sick. What about you?
I mean, yeah, yesterday I was laying in bed all day because I had a migraine, but I also felt the need to, like, do stuff for my business and, like, post to social media and, like, get things done. And I was, like, selling earrings.
Yeah.
And
we'll link her business in the bio.
Yeah.
I forgot to do that in the last couple of videos. Okay.
I was like trying to get stuff done for that, and I start school on the 16th, and I was like making sure I had everything together. And I was like, I need to take a day to rest. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And so I like stopped, and I like let myself binge watch a TV show and read a book. I finished a book yesterday, and yeah, I also struggle with that. And what else is there?
I think for me, there's also this constant pressure to work at getting better, as if you can like work hard enough to make your body better, which in itself doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
That's not how being sick works. Like,
I mean, I have moments where I feel really good, but I know that I still, and then I'll have like, what's it called? Crap, I don't know what it's called.
I don't know
I'll
either.
feel good, and then I'm like, do you really have a chronic illness? I'm like, heck yeah, you have a chronic
Yes.
illness.
Like, you like start rethinking
Yeah.
if you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. And then I'll feel sick again, but during the time that I feel good, I feel like I have to get everything done.
Because you don't know when you'll be sick
Yeah.
again and for how long.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The pressure of being well when you have a chronic illness.
Yeah.
It's like you have to move mountains so that
Yeah.
the next time you're sick and you can't do anything, whether that's for a day or a week or a month, it's okay.
Also the pressure of being sick, because you don't know how long you're going to be down for. Like yesterday, I was trying to get stuff done, and I was like, you need to rest so that you're not down for a month.
It's hard to like let yourself it's hard to not push yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to not push yourself out of fear that you'll lose the opportunity that you have to feel okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wish I could let myself just exist.
B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to cough. I wish I could let
Gosh.
myself, I know, such a loser, coughing on a podcast. No, I wish I could just let myself exist, because it's hard enough to do that.
Yeah.
So,
I think also, like, staying up to date with people, and, like, this is weird, but, like, I think I said this on the last one. I forget that people know that I exist, and it's weird, but, like, I forget that texting people is, like, a two-way street. So, like, I can text people, but they can also text me first, and they can also, like, check up on me. And so, like, I don't know why, but, like, relationships with people is also, like, a really big pressure.
yeah,
And
to
I think
have,
it's,
like a
past
group.
relationships, too, and just
That's a really good point. The pressure of maintaining a friend group.
friendships
and
in general.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone on Instagram, they have like several groups of people they hang out with, and
So social media is fake.
it is.
I hate
But
social
when you're
media.
sick home alone in
Mhm.
bed, what do you do? I'm scrolling on Instagram and making it worse for
I
myself.
play solitaire and read books.
She is a healthier girl than I am.
Just kidding. I do look at social media, but I think through everything you have to know that, like, social media is fake, and people put the prettiest pictures of themselves on there to make you feel bad about yourself.
It's everybody's highlight reel.
It is, and they don't do that on purpose, because, I mean, I do that myself. I put the prettiest pictures of myself out there so people don't think that I'm ill all the time.
Okay, but interrupting you, why do we hide the fact that we're ill on social media? There's
I
this
don't
pressure to look healthy on social media, and I'm like, why is there pressure to look healthy?
I don't
Like,
anymore.
Do you know what I
Because-
mean?
Yeah, but I think
That doesn't make any
being
sense.
completely real with people on social media, it should be a thing.
Mhm.
Like, because I'm from Texas, and so that's the only way that I text my family, but, like, my family from Texas, and then I also have family in Arkansas, and it's like, if I'm going to keep up with them and be real, like, I need to put real things on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to stress them out, but, like, for them to see how I'm doing.
I will say this, every time I think about putting a real life post, it's always really depressing. And I have not yet mastered the balance of being real with chronic illness and presenting the best because I have a chronic illness. And I don't want to further the stigma of people with chronic illness can't do anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I put a picture of myself really sick and I look really sick and I talk about it, then, like, I don't know, I feel like that can be negative, and then I don't want it to reflect on the whole community.
Yeah.
But that also, I feel like maybe I need to let it go. I don't know.
Honestly.
What do you think?
Whenever I use my mobility aids, I make sure that they're in the picture. So people that don't know, they can know that, like, you can still do things.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's very much, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I used to be in a wheelchair. I used to post about me being, I mean, it's there.
Yeah,
like,
I love
in
that,
it,
though.
so,
like, seeing people using mobility aids that are happy, like, that's what we need. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
This was like 5 years ago. I used to be embarrassed, but honestly, you just have, I'm not telling you to get over it, but
no.
I had to get over it.
Yes.
Because
it's
just a part of life. It was a part of life for me, and, like, using a cane is a part of life for me, and so I was just like, it's part of life. It's gonna be there for the rest of my eyes twitching. Do you see that?
I did. Is that a flare?
No.
Situation?
I don't think so. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. That was just really irritating.
Does that happen sometimes?
Uh-huh.
My neck muscles will twitch.
Irritates the mess out of me.
It's very uncomfortable.
I hate that.
Okay, continue.
Sorry. But, like, using those for me is just a normal part of my life, and that's... I'm not saying being disabled is who I am, but, like...
It's a part of you.
It's a part of me.
It's not who you are, but it's a part.
I'm gonna make people aware of that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna be embarrassed of it anymore. Because
really
especially since meeting you, I've learned to love myself a lot more in that aspect.
Girl, gonna make me cry.
Wow!
Doesn't take a lot to make me cry, actually, but that's so nice. There's something really, like, healing about being around other people with chronic illness, because there's a pressure to keep up with healthy people.
I have to hiccup again.
Okay.
Let it continue.
I'll just keep talking.
Sorry.
So there's this pressure to keep up with healthy people, and this pressure to make sure that healthy people know that we still want to be in their lives.
I think it's just a pressure of, like, keeping up with the world.
Yeah, that's
not necessarily. I mean, for me, not necessarily healthy people. Just, like, the world doesn't stop.
Yeah.
When we get sick, so it's just, like, feeling like you have to keep up.
Mm-hmm. What's another pressure you feel?
I feel like there's so many that they're, like, all in my head, and I don't know.
I think a pressure that I have is to get a 9 to 5.
I was literally about to say that.
Oh, really?
Stop it.
So a pressure I feel is to have a 9 to 5, because I don't know why, but I don't feel like it's socially acceptable yet to not have a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like it's not socially accepted to not want to overwork. Like, people brag about, like, I have to stay late, I have so much work to do, I have to go home, I have so much work. Like, somehow that's a flex.
It's not.
I think that needs to change, because that's, like, detrimental to your health, relationships, your life, mental health. It's just a dangerous game, I feel like. And then, so yeah, I feel pressure to have a 9 to 5, and to complain about said 9 to 5. Is
I
that
feel like
weird?
just having a job in general, like my job right now, my boss is so precious. She's very flexible, and then I am my own boss as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think right now I'm set until I graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for us, like the careers that we've chosen,
I'm a graphic designer.
I'm an American Sign Language interpreter. Like you get to set your hours.
Yes.
And then hopefully I'll be able to set my hours. But that's not everyone gets to do that.
No. And then for some reason I have the privilege of setting my own hours, and then I ruin it by feeling pressure for the rest of the time that I'm not working. Pressure to work.
Yeah. I get that because my schedule this semester is so flexible.
Mm-hmm.
I already have 2 jobs and I'm trying to get another one, and I'm like,
Why
am I trying to get another job? I have 3 technically, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I feel like because the mornings I don't have anything until 1 o'clock every day.
I typically don't start work until 1, and then I'll work until like 4 or 5. But I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
That's how my days are going to be in the fall, and I feel like I'm really excited because I'll be able to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have the pressure of like, do I need to do something else? Do I need to add something to my schedule to make it more busy? No, I don't. I shouldn't. But like, I don't know, I have this like thing in the back of my mind that's telling me I'm not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like once we start school, I'm going to be like, hello, back up. I'm doing too much.
Yeah. It always feels like I always overcommit myself because
excuse me, I'm sorry.
somebody has the hiccups today. I always feel, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's okay, we'll move on.
You overcommit yourself?
Yes, thank you. I always overcommit myself because I think in my brain I can do more than what I can actually do.
Yeah.
And that is also really dangerous for somebody with a disability or chronic illness. Like, you don't want to commit to a 5K, and that's
I've
just
done that
not...
before.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've done a 5K.
Wow. Okay, we have to pause. Tell us about this experience.
It was like the
Were you...
year after
surely
I started
you weren't-
walking again.
Okay, I was about to be like,
Yeah.
were you in your chair? Or
No, I was walking. It was a couple months after I had gotten off of a cane. I think. It was like 2 years ago, so I don't really remember that much. But I walked most of it, and then I ran the last little bit.
That's amazing.
I'm not going to do it again, but I'm just going to say that I did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself for it, but yeah.
Would you do that again?
No. But I did it. I'm proud of
Did
myself
you
for
flare after?
The rest of the day I slept.
You didn't have any pain or anything?
I mean, my legs were tired.
Yeah.
And they kind of hurt a little bit, but I expected it. I just wanted to say that I did it, and I was happy.
That's
but
amazing.
I think there's a picture
Good for you.
of me at the finish line. My mom took it, and she was like sobbing, and I was like, Mom, I literally just ran a 5K, it's fine. It's okay.
Her baby ran a 5K.
But yeah, I think there's a picture somewhere.
So
I can ask her. But yeah.
So you didn't have any like health consequences?
Well, it was cold. I think it was in December.
So do you think that's what it was?
I think it was in December or January. Yeah, I ran in like a sweatshirt and leggings. So I'm pretty sure it was cold. But I just remember the rest of the day I slept. And my legs kind of hurt a little bit. But I went to church the next day.
Good for you. That's amazing, HAILEY.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't really remember much because it was 2 years ago. But
that's so cool, though.
Yeah.
Look at you go. I'm so proud. Oh, my goodness. Well, going back to what I was talking about, like, I cannot sign up for a 5K right now. With my health,
right now,
I would never be able to finish that. in my current state of sick.
Yeah.
Now, like, in a couple of months, I could be better or I could be worse, which is another thing that you deal with a chronic illness. You never know.
I feel like if I biked a 5K right now, I could do it.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe not right now. Maybe in a month. Because right now it's hot. So maybe in December.
So, like, maybe you could do winter 5Ks.
Yeah.
Which, that's amazing for someone with a chronic illness who constantly deals with pain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say something. Please don't be offended. But this is what other people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
How can you run a 5K and then say you're sick all the time? Because that, like, doesn't go together. And I know, like, as your best friend, like, I understand and I get it because I have a chronic illness.
Yeah.
But for those people listening who don't, like, those two don't make sense. Can you explain?
So, I have good pain days and bad pain days, and I feel, so it was so long ago that I really don't remember. But in that season of life, I was having really good health days, and it was before my symptoms got really bad. It was like before they started getting progressively worse like they are right now. But I remember that month I was feeling really well, and so I signed up. I didn't prep or anything, but I was one of the last people to cross the finish line, but I really didn't care.
No, that's the least of...
I literally did not care. But when you have a chronic illness, you have good pain days and bad pain days. That one was a good one. I was really having a good month. But, I mean, if you do something like that with chronic illness, I mean, there's a really big possibility that you'll flare. I didn't, which was a praise.
Mm-hmm.
And I did sleep the rest of the day, but, I mean... It was a big moment.
Normal people would go to bed
after
a 5K.
But I don't really know. I think
it was just a good.
It was
pain
just
day.
a good pain day, and it was a good season in my life where I wasn't having that many flares, and I just felt good enough to do it. But like right now, I wouldn't be able to do it, just because of the heat and stuff. But I feel like if I trained maybe for M1, I could do it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I have no desire to run.
I really don't have a desire to do it at all.
If something's chasing me, I'll probably run. Notice how I said probably.
I do want to start biking.
Let's talk about, like, physical, like, things that people can do with chronic illness and with disabilities. Obviously, it varies from person to person.
Yeah, it does.
It's totally different for other. Obviously, you ran a 5K. I have not done that. Don't want to do that.
No.
But it's just totally different for everyone. So let's talk about working out with.
So I go to a gym. I haven't gone this month just because I've had more flares than I usually do, but it's the heat. I cannot walk on the treadmill. It gives me terrible nerve pain. I do weights and I do the bike because it does not hurt me. I normally jump rope if I feel like I can do it, but it just depends on the day. Yoga kills me. Literally hurts my body so bad, and I feel like it's because you're holding that position for so long.
Gonna jump in here. There's a technique called flow yoga because I can't hold positions. But anyway, continue.
I really love HIIT cardio.
Really?
It's like dancing.
I should try that.
You should. We can do it together. I'll do it to One Direction or Harry Styles, and it literally just feels like you're dancing, but it gets your heart rate up. And so that's all you really need is to just get your heart rate up for a little bit, and that is supposed to make you feel better. I don't really know.
Does it make you feel better? It
makes me feel better. It makes me feel like my heart rate's up. It makes me sweat. I do it I used to do it every day, but I haven't really done it much this summer. But yeah. Do you work out? There's
I
no
feel,
shame if you don't.
I feel pressure to work out. The deal with my fibromyalgia is that it helps me to move, but I cannot do, like, exercising. Like, I cannot run. I cannot, you said jump rope, and, like, my whole body tightened, because that is a horrifying idea for me.
Yeah.
Like, it will cause so much pain for me that even the thought of jumping rope really makes me anxious.
Yeah.
You said yoga. I can only do flow yoga, which is where you focus on breathing, matching your movements, and
So
you
is
don't
that like
hold a pose.
meditation?
It's meditating to me because I'm focused on my breathing and making sure my breathing is steady and making sure my movements match my breathing. And then that's what causes me to have, like, this meditative mindset or meditative state of that. So yeah, I can't hold poses though. Holding poses can make me cramp really bad. Yeah, nerve pain. So I'm able to do flow yoga. I'm able to stretch. But that's all that I can do right now. I say right now because I really hope that it changes, because I was a ballerina for 12 years. I crave movement, but
well, I have a gym
so it's really
membership
frustrating.
And you can come with me.
Yeah, I should.
I have, like, an extra person.
Oh, swimming.
I freaking love swimming.
I just remembered that one.
It feels so, because it just takes away all of your pain.
Yes, because you're weightless. And I have a theory that gravity is a huge component. Yeah, let's just pause and sing that for a minute. I'm not going to because my voice is not the best, but my theory is that gravity causes the majority of my problems.
I don't know, because I am an ASL major, and but I couldn't look that up.
Well, here's my thinking. Like, I
keep moving.
I am constantly, like, being pulled downwards, and I can feel it, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm constantly, like, fighting against, like, for example, I'm slouching. I am currently slouching. And if I sit up straight, it feels better, yes, but I cannot hold it. And I don't know, like, maybe it's, like, my muscles aren't strong enough because I never sit up straight. I don't know.
When I couldn't walk,
so I like to blame gravity, even though I don't know if that's the cause.
When I couldn't walk, my junior and senior year of high school, my mom and I would go swimming at the St. Bernard's Health Center. Or no, it's the one in Paragould, not St. Bernard's. And I could walk, and so I would always look forward to it because I could feel really independent. But now just, like, swimming, oh, I love it. And I wish there was, like, a free place that you could go.
Yeah.
But it's so expensive, so no.
Yes. And
but yes.
On that topic, okay, if insurance would cover yoga classes and swimming, access to swimming pools, and because these are things that actually help us that insurance doesn't cover. Oh, you think they would?
Well,
we've tried, but maybe it's, like, specific companies. I don't know.
Maybe St. Bernard's because it's a hospital.
That is true.
But maybe not the Paragould because it's a water park.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe St. Bernard's.
Maybe I should research this.
Maybe
we should, like, do some background checking before.
Yeah.
But
before talking about
before
it.
we talk about it. Yeah. So, swimming. I swam a lot when I was in my wheelchair because it was the only way I could move without pain. And then I had some really bad experiences with water, and so now swimming is a trigger for me. So it kind of sucks, but I do agree with you that water is a great way to, like, be able to move.
Yeah.
And that's why, because, okay, before I was sick, I was always really confused why they would put disabled people in a swimming pool.
What did I just say? I was trying to say swimming therapy.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
My mom is a physical therapist. I know I talked about her on one of the other episodes. But she used to do swimming therapy and, like, get in the pools and do physical therapy in the pools. Yeah. And so whenever I couldn't walk, like I said, in high school, we would get in the pools and she would do my physical therapy. Yeah, and she did my physical therapy all through high school and college.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would do it in there because it didn't hurt.
Right.
And so this was a lot easier too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it makes sense now, but before I knew anything about chronic illness, I was like, why are people putting disabled people in pools? Because in my mind, I was like, can they swim? Which is a stupid question. But as somebody who didn't know anything about disabilities or chronic illness, that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
And now, being on the other side of it, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
There's no gravity to push down on you. You feel you're weightless. The water takes the pressure off. If it's warm water, it's even better because it allows your muscles to completely relax.
The way I want a hot tub, I don't know what I was about to say. I want a hot tub.
Yeah.
So bad. That would be perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, people who, like, athletes sit in hot tubs a lot after workouts and stuff.
Especially in the Olympics, they were sitting in the hot tubs, and I was like, can I join you?
Let me just slide in there.
Let me fly to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are there any other pressures you want to talk about?
I don't know. What about you?
I think I've talked about them all. I think, she said, unsure of herself.
Yeah. I do have a happy thing to talk about.
Yes, let's.
So I had a doctor's appointment this week, and it went amazing.
We're so excited.
Yeah. So my other doctor left UAMS.
Doctors do this, by the way. They will just quit their practice and not let their patients know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to send out an email.
Like, I don't 2 days or a week before.
Yours was a week before.
Yeah. When was yours?
I'm trying to think. It was maybe a month before.
So irritating.
But this doctor was out of town, and they knew we had to, like, drive a couple of hours to get to that doctor. I was just like, tell your assistant, tell your secretary. Their job is to, like, mail things out, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, I get so worked up about it. It's scary. It's starting over with treatment. It's not being able to have access to your medication. It's waiting on phone calls for doctors to get back to you. It's having to go all the way through insurance again. People just don't understand how serious that is. Yeah. And if you're a doctor listening to this, rewind and listen to it again.
I was blessed, though, because I didn't have to change hospitals. Yes. And so I just had to change doctors. And so they were like, you can have this doctor who specializes in MS, or you can have this doctor who specializes in MS and chronic illness. And I was like, I want the doctor who specializes in MS and chronic illness.
Yes. And
apparently I'd seen her before when I was like 18 years old. I didn't remember that because, brain fog. Mm-hmm. But, and all of the appointments now are only telemedicine. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's fine. I'd rather stay inside than COVID, Mm-hmm. But we not FaceTime, but that's what I'm going to call it because I don't know what the actual name of it is. We did the FaceTime thing. She talked to me for an hour.
Wow. Just the doctor?
Just the doctor.
That's rare.
Yeah. And before we talked, she researched my file, looked at all of my MRIs, looked at all of my blood work, everything. So I didn't have to do the whole spiel about
You didn't have to tell her and relive
No,
the
I had
trauma.
to just, like,
That's amazing.
fill in a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because, like, my paperwork wasn't there. And it was stuff from, like, I had a really big flare in March. And it was stuff that I had to fill in, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do that than, like,
Oh my
do the whole
gosh,
spiel.
reliving your whole life with chronic illness is traumatizing.
It's difficult. And after that, she was like, so tell me what you want to talk about. And I was like, okay. So I had my little list, you know. I've been working on it since March because, like, I had a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started talking to her, and I really wanted to go to Mayo Clinic because it's been 5 years, 16, 17, 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. And I don't have a diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I really want to go to Mayo Clinic. And she said, I think that is the best decision right now. And I'm about to hiccup again. And she was like, I'm going to send a referral right now. So while we were on the phone, she sends a referral to Mayo Clinic.
Are you serious?
Yeah. While
Right
we
then.
were on the phone. Starts writing the referral. And she said,
Oh my gosh.
what are all your symptoms? What are your new symptoms? Everything.
Okay, side note, getting a referral from a doctor can take up to months.
She starts
Not
writing it right
not
then.
days, not weeks. It can take months. I'm still waiting for insurance to cover a medication that could tremendously help my pain, and I've been waiting for a month. That's amazing.
Yeah.
She sent the referral right then.
Well, she was, like, typing it up, yeah. So she starts asking about all my symptoms, my new symptoms, what are they like, when did they start. So I start telling her everything. I start telling her what new doctors I want to see because I've had a lot of new symptoms. She sends me to those doctors immediately.
Wow.
Sends the referrals right there. Yeah, and what else happened? She took me off some medicine that I didn't need to be on, and I was just
That's
on
wonderful.
because the last doctor put me on it. There's so much more that I can't even think about, but she was just so
Does
encouraging.
she suspect a diagnosis?
Yeah, she kept calling it MS. She was like, so your MS, da-da-da-da-da, and I was like, I don't have the diagnosis, and she was like, so your MS, da-da-da, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're calling it MS.
Okay, so explain why you don't have the diagnosis of MS, but you think that's what you
Okay.
have.
So, this is stupid. I'm just letting you all
It's
know.
not stupid.
No. Why they haven't diagnosed me yet.
Okay, that is stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. So, when I lost feeling in my legs, I was 16, turning 17, because it was January and my birthday's February.
Mm-hmm. You have to be a certain age.
Yeah,
For the diagnosis.
for the diagnosis.
What is the age?
It's like late 20s. I'm 21. And
So
you
'cause
have to
she's
have lesions in your brain, lesions in your spine, and in your blood work. You have to have this certain thing in your blood. I only have lesions in my brain and loss of feeling in my body, in my legs and my arm.
Basically, you're not old enough and you don't have enough problems to have a diagnosis. Yeah. Okay, let me repeat. You're not old enough and you don't have enough problems to have the diagnosis of what doctors think you have and what you think you have.
Yeah. You have to have one of everything. You have to have lesions in your brain, lesions in your spine, and you have to have
something in your blood.
So I don't know what it is. And I have a B12 deficiency and a vitamin D deficiency. Those are both come with MS and a chronic illness. And you have to be the ages of like somewhere in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And they normally diagnose your late 20s, early 30s. But
so frustrating.
But I was so happy because she was calling it MS. She sent me directly to Mayo Clinic and like sent me to the other doctors that I was like, we've been talking about this, but like the other doctor hadn't sent me, and she was like, I'll send you right now. And I was like, you didn't even wait to like do the rest of it. So it was just such a blessing, and like I was really worried because it was a new doctor, and I wasn't sure if she was gonna listen to me. That's always my worry. I'm always afraid that they're gonna think I'm faking it.
Yes.
Because I've had a doctor like that who told me I was faking, and she listened to everything, and
That's amazing.
she did everything I asked. So So it was so good, and it was, I mean, the Lord was just like working through it.
Yes, praise God. Praise God.
So
it's rare to have a doctor
yeah.
appointment that you walk away feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
At least that's been my
Or
experience.
Stuff is actually being done, and they're not like, oh, we'll do it next time, and I don't do it.
Yeah, she sounds like ahead
She's
of the
very
game. Like
proactive.
she already got on top of referrals and everything. That's so wonderful.
Yeah. So
yay.
I'm very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep everybody updated.
Yeah, we are. I will absolutely keep y'all updated because
on the journey.
Yeah. I'm not worried about sharing information.
Yes. Well, we're gonna share. We're gonna overshare.
Yeah.
Because my hope and my dream is that there's another girl like us on the other end of this who doesn't and may not have any friends who have any chronic illness, and she can listen to this and know she's not alone.
Yeah, and know that she's loved, or he's loved. They're loved.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And we love you.
Yes, always. We love you, but I'm done talking now. Are you done?
That was quick, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, bye.
Bye.